friends, great to be back and nice to see you all. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit terrible. I had the flu and it's just such a horrible long story. So let me start at the beginning. Just as a quick life update, I joined the real estate school that I had picked out and I, thoroughly researched it. I looked into it and it said that you can do it in however long you want. And so I thought, all right, that's cool. Long story short, once I started, they said that the students that do the best actually get it done in the shortest amount of time. So that makes sense too, because when you start it and then, you have to take your, final exams and everything, it's not going to be fresh in your memory, if I've taken months and months to get it done. And so I looked up some statistics on that just to fact check it. And sure enough, it's like 57% of the people who take the exam pass it on their first try. And I did not want to be one of those almost half of the people that don't make it. So I decided to go ahead and try and get it done as quickly as possible. But adding all of that extra school to my schedule that I already have was just crazy. So in the beginning of January, I ended up with no free time, none whatsoever. So that is part of the reason why it's been so long since I've been gone. And then after that, probably in part because of this whole thing, trying to burn the candle at both ends here, staying awake late and just not taking care of myself, then I got the flu. So yeah, that's how my January went. It was terrible. It was like falling down a flight of stairs. Like everything was hard and everything you thought, should be going better just wasn't. And so yeah. There you go. So please forgive me, and I'm glad that, those of you who are still here that didn't unsubscribe because you thought, I wasn't gone or whatever, you're still here. So thank you so much for sticking with me, and please forgive me for taking so long to get back to this. But I have a really quick video today, and I actually chose a shorter one just so I would have a chance to explain to you where it was I went and why I was gone so long. So anyway, let me get started on that. So I, a little bit ago, decided I wanted to try and add up my numbers on what we had paid for throughout our lifetimes. Well, mainly our marriage, maybe a little bit before then. Because of what I had seen in some of the debt-free community and, all these, frugal, communities and things like that. And a lot of people add up, how much they had paid off. We saved X amount this year, or we paid off this much debt in a year. And so I was like, hey, that'd be kind of fun. Maybe I'll just go through and I'll add up all the debts that we've paid off and, all of the, money that we've saved ahead. And what I ended up with was a number that looks like what is on my board, which I almost didn't even want to share with you, because once I added it all up, I ended up disappointed with myself. And the reason is, okay, we haven't actually had a whole lot of debts in our lives, as most of you know. We stayed away from all consumer debt. We've never had any credit cards that we carried balances on. We've never had car payments. We've never had student loans. We've never had most of these debts. The only debts that we've ever had, our first and our second house, and then my husband had a car. We ended up with a little bit of an issue where we had bought a car and paid cash for it, but then the head gasket went out exactly a year after we had bought it, and we didn't have enough time to have saved up enough money for another one. And so he bought a car through a friend of ours. So while it wasn't officially a car payment, my husband did have a car that he owed a friend for that he was making payments on. And so that definitely counts. That definitely counts as debt. And then the last one, oops, I should say medical bills, but somebody put their fingers in it looks like, from my first child, because we ended up with a complication that required a surgery when we weren't expecting it, etc. So yeah, that is all of the debts that we've ever had. And so it was really easy to add them all up. And these are the real numbers. So $139,200 in debts. And that sounds really good. But then I really started comparing how much other people were paying, and I was like, wow, if you actually divide that by the amount of years that we've been doing this, this really isn't a whole lot of money that we've actually paid toward it. But, saving ahead for things is another thing that we do a lot. So we saved, oh gosh, the list was way longer for this. A down payment for our first house, a down payment for our second house, house remodels. We've done several of those. We remodeled our whole kitchen on our last house. We put in all new windows, all new siding on the last place. We've saved for 5 cars. And then the sixth one, my husband had a little bit of debt for, but 5 cars we've paid for in cash. The greenhouse we just added. Our vacation we took a long time ago. I mean, just so many things. I could go on and on. Landscaping projects, etc. So I went through and I added up all of the money that we had saved ahead for different projects, and that came to $145,000. I know that sounds really high, but there's been so many projects. And again, that's in the form of all of this, in addition to money that we have saved. So money that we have set aside for our emergencies and things like that. So all of that money put together equals $145,000. And again, when I compared this to what a lot of other people were saving, they're saving half this much in a year. And we're doing it over this huge stretch of time. And so while it looked like a really good number, $284,000 that my husband and I have either paid debt or money we've saved ahead and been able to buy, our finance projects and different things like that without having to go into debt for different things, it really kind of bothered me, and it was all because of comparison. It was all because I was comparing how much we could save or how much debt we had paid off per year compared to what a lot of other people were doing. And instead of being happy about the number looking good, it made me really disappointed and upset. And so that's the whole point of this video, is that I don't even want to show you this. I don't even want to show you these numbers because I don't want to make you upset, because I really do believe that the key to contentment is to not compare. Because we're all on a different journey. We all have, we've come from different backgrounds. We're all headed in different directions. We have different sized families. We live in different areas. We have different incomes, We have all these differences. Comparing just doesn't make sense, because what I am able to accomplish isn't what someone else is able to accomplish, and what someone else is able to accomplish may not be what we're able to accomplish. And so it really isn't a good idea for us to compare ourselves and our journeys to everyone else. And so that is the main purpose of what I wanted to share with you in this video, is that especially having taken a quick break and then coming back to this community, this frugal community, it really seems like there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of unnecessary comparing. So I don't want to post numbers almost, because I don't want to compare or have other people be upset with how much you're spending on this or that because we spend less, or the other way around. I just don't feel like that's beneficial. The other thing is, it's not like we're going to win. Everyone who pays off their mortgage, wins. If it takes you 10 years, cool. If it takes you 20 years, great. You know what? You paid it off at all. So it's not like whoever does it the fastest wins, I just don't want you to feel badly about your journey. If you're not able to save as much as some of the other people in this community do, that's okay. I still think you're doing great. And if you are not able to pay off as much of this debt, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. So, in light of all of the things that seem to be going on in this, frugal, debt-free community, it's almost like a keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing all over again, just in the way of, who can be the most frugal. And I don't want that kind of competition on my channel, and I don't want to foster that kind of competition here either. So thank you for my rant, for sitting through my little rant there. And hopefully you could understand me with my raspy voice, which hopefully will be gone by next week. Anyway, so you're doing great. Don't compare yourselves to everyone else's journey, and I seriously think you'll be a whole lot happier if you just look around at what you are able to accomplish and be happy with what you are able to accomplish, and not disappointed because somebody else has done more or better, or just seems to be better at something, or just getting more accomplished or done. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week, because I finished real estate school. Oh, by the way, on that, so not only did I finish real estate school, but I actually just took my test today and I passed. Yay. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm ready to move on and have my life back. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for your patience, and I am excited to see you next week. Thanks for watching.